Hi everyone, what's up? Chelsea fans, I hope you're all feeling good. This is Xavier Mbuyamba, and you're listening to the Blue Day podcast. Enjoy.
Welcome everyone to the Blue Day podcast, and for Chelsea fans everywhere, every day is a blue day. I am your host, the man with a faith for podcasting, Keith Lawrence. On today's show, we are going to review last night's match against Sheffield United. We're also going to talk about specific player performances and discuss Thomas Tuchel on Timo Werner. We're also going to preview the F.A Cup game against Barnsley that is happening on Thursday. And we are going to announce our next ex-player that will be on the Blue Day podcast for a very exclusive interview. So we shall start with the Sheffield United review. And what a win it was. A fabulous win against Sheffield United, who were bottom of the Premier League. I, of course, did the watch-along on our YouTube channel. If you don't know about it, it is the Blue Day Podcast YouTube channel. You can find it. We have quite a few subscribers on there already and hundreds of videos. But we did a watch-along on there last night where I analysed and assessed the game. And I looked at the Sheffield United lineup and I looked at how they played. And for me, they are certainly not a side that should be bottom of the Premier League. They defended gallantly against Chelsea and they caused us much problems. But that's my praise on the opposition. I'm now going to talk about our team in Chelsea. And it was a massive 3 points that we got, considering that the teams around us dropped points. The likes of West Ham, Liverpool, Leicester, Everton. Even if you want to go far up in the table as Manchester United, they all dropped points. I'm not bothered about Tottenham or Arsenal because they're below us. We don't need to worry about them. But to say that we got the win and it was much deserved, absolutely, definitely deserved. We're going to look at the formation and the team that Chelsea played. And I was quite surprised with the lineup. I wasn't surprised with the formation at all. I thought that looking at this formation, it looks as if it's the way forward for Thomas Tuchel and the Chelsea side. You look at the three centre-backs in Rudiger, Christensen and Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta looks like he's got a new lease of life under Thomas Tuchel. Christensen hasn't had the best of Chelsea careers so far, and he has divided opinion amongst many Chelsea supporters. However, last night I thought he was outstanding. It was arguably his best game for Chelsea. Rudiger, we are going to talk about that own goal, the fucking stupid own goal that he scored. Listen, it happens in football. It is one of those things. But defensively, he needs to do better. He is an experienced German international defender, and those things do not happen. It doesn't happen at Bayern Munich. It doesn't happen at Real Madrid. It certainly doesn't happen at the best clubs in the world. So it shouldn't happen with us. Rudiger and Mendy really fucked up on that occasion. But thankfully, it did not have an impact on the result. Chilwell got a start for me, which I was surprised with. I thought he did okay, but Alonso came in, looked a lot better, Alonso, as a left wing back. James came in as with the right wing back as well. He was outstanding for me. And then the centre midfield of Jorginho and Kovacic. Listen, they divide opinion as well. Some people love them, some people can't stand them. I am on the opinion of, I think Kovacic is not the best midfielder, certainly in the Premier League, and I think there are many midfielders better than him out there. My personal opinion on Kovacic, I think he should look to leave. If it was up to me, I would sell him. He doesn't really offer a great deal in Chelsea midfield. He doesn't score enough goals. He can't defend brilliantly. He's not a defensive-minded player, and he doesn't have a goal in him. So really, for me, I think we should look to possibly let go of him at the end of the season. And as for Jorginho, well, some games he's fantastic in, some games he's absolutely shite in. But last night, his passing was not great. There was a lot of times that he lost possession of the ball, but there were other times as well where he would look up and he would look to play forward. A lot of the times, especially under Sarri and even under Lampard, he would try and play it so safe that it would just be pointless. But last night, when he received the ball, he always was looking forward, which I thought was a massive positive. And he obviously took his penalty well. That's 2 penalties in 2 games for him now, so that's certainly got his confidence back up. Mason Mount, again, absolutely fantastic. He is definitely proven to be Chelsea's player of the season so far. He's been fantastic again. Timo Werner, I'm going to leave him till last. I want to talk about Olivier Giroud first. Giroud, I thought, did okay. Wasn't the best game for him last night. He came off in the second half. Again, he did all right, but ideally, you've got to talk about Timo Werner. And Timo Werner, for me, I thought was absolutely fantastic. Yes, he didn't score, and I believe he's now gone on a run where he hasn't scored in 14 or 15 games, something along them lines. But he was absolutely fantastic last night. His movement off the ball was sensational. That did not look like a guy that was out of confidence. That did not look like a guy that was struggling for form and didn't want to be in a Chelsea shirt. He was outstanding last night. Yes, he didn't score and he didn't have many opportunities to do that, but if it wasn't for him, we would not have got them 2 goals. He was brilliant. His movement off the ball, his pace caused issues. And I expect him to get out of this barren run. I expect him to bang in the goals eventually. I've said this on many occasions. He is certainly not going to be a Chelsea flop. I can assure you of that. He has got the capabilities and the desire to become a lethal Chelsea finisher. So that was the starting 11. The players that came on, of course, Alonso came on with about half an hour to go, and he did okay, replacing Ben Chilwell. Hudson-Odoi came on. I was quite surprised he didn't start personally, but I think Thomas Tuchel may have the F.A Cup game in mind, which we will talk about. But Hudson-Odoi came on with half hour to go. He did okay. And N'Golo Kante, he came on, he shored up the midfield with about 15 minutes to go. I was actually surprised he didn't start as well, N'Golo Kante. I thought this was a perfect game for him to flex his muscles, but it was all-round a very, very good performance. Wasn't the best performance by Chelsea, certainly under Thomas Tuchel, but it was certainly a result that I feel given the confidence to Chelsea and has given the confidence in Thomas Tuchel's ideas, and certainly now we can say that we are definitely in the mix for those Champions League places. And again, as I've mentioned before, the next couple of games are going to be critical for Chelsea now, and also with the likes of the clubs around us playing each other, they are going to drop points. And with Chelsea, our next 2 Premier League games are Newcastle at home and Southampton away. So 2 games that, if you look on it, Newcastle probably trying to survive in the Premier League, and Southampton are on a bit of a wobbler at the moment. So I expect Chelsea to really kick on now and get a nice winning run going, whereby the likes of Tottenham, the likes of Everton and Leicester City, Manchester City as well, they're all playing each other, aren't they? So I expect Chelsea to go on a decent run. But so last night, fantastic result. It's nice to be up there now, considering where we was when Mr. Tuchel took over. And really, we should be pleased with how it's going at the moment. But again, as I've said on many occasions, I am not expecting the Thomas Tuchel love fest to continue. There is going to be a point where the cracks will appear, because it always does. But I'm not going to be pessimistic. I am not going to be critical of him. And from what I have seen so far, he seems like a guy who knows what he wants. He seems like a guy who inspires and motivates his players, and that can only be a good thing for Chelsea going forward. So here are his post-match analysis of the game. He was interviewed by one of the BBC reporters, which will be played right now.
Thomas, congratulations on another win. What was it like for you tonight watching that one?
Watching that one? Well, it was tough to watch because it's close results, and from a 1-0 to a draw, and then back up front, and many situations also where it's difficult and where anything can happen because of many long balls arrive in the box, many crosses. If you cannot control the game completely in the opponent's half, which we could for many minutes, but not. Sometimes we had easy ball losses, easy mistakes, and from that you suffer because you get the next ball deep in your half, and they are strong and physical, and you could feel that they have a lot of self-confidence because of their last wins. And for that, it was another tough away game and another tough win. But I'm very happy with the response to all the questions that were asked.
You must have gone through the whole gamut of emotions, that mad 5 minutes, their equaliser, and then you get a penalty eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like this, and we were lucky in the beginning not to concede the first goal and be 1-0 down. It's always easier to be up front and maybe concede an equalizer. So we were lucky in the first 15 minutes where we were not aggressive and enough in the challenges. But then, like I said, normally you always want to play with a clean sheet. You say normally it should not happen between goalkeeper and defender, but it simply happens. This game, mistakes happen. Unfortunately, it was then a mistake and a goal, but the response was very good, and I'm happy that Georgie could score another penalty today, and we could bring the result home.
Still no goal for Timo Werner in the Premier League. It's a long time since he scored, but in terms of his overall contribution, he was involved in both goals. You must be really impressed with the way he played for the whole time he was on there.
Today was very strong. I feel him stronger and stronger every game. Was important moment for him to win the decisive penalty against Tottenham. Then after that he worked incredibly hard against the ball and fulfilled his role. Was a bit unlucky with some shots in Tottenham. Then today you could even feel that he has a boost of self-confidence, had some good dribblings, a very good run and a very good assist for the first goal, and second one was brave enough, brave enough to go around the goalkeeper, was good decision making, and so it's a big impact on the result today. I'm happy for him.
He's a fellow German, of course. When you came into the club, did you feel as though you particularly needed to talk to him and get your arm around him just to boost his confidence?
Well, we try to do it with everybody, not just with the German guys, but for sure. I mean, we had a connection to him clearly, and we have a history together because my assistant coach was his coach in Leipzig, so it was it just is like this, but we hope to get everybody in a good shape and confidence, and every player needs something else. For the strikers, it's the most important that they are involved in goals, and I think that this is the most important, that he feels well and that he's really involved in our game, and you can feel this in the last two games, and that's why I'm happy, because then the goals will follow.
Just one final question, 10 points out of a possible 12. Is this better than you dreamt it when you first came through the door at Stamford Bridge?
I can only tell you that I don't think about this like this. We go step by step, and we will always prepare every match to win. If you look about it in 5-6 matches consecutive, you will feel like we cannot wish for that. But if you look at it every step by step and game by game, you have to be also self-confident enough that we prepare every match to win, and we have a team that is ready, and we are in a club that is ready and wants us to win and creates a winning mentality. And you can feel this when you step through the door in Chelsea training ground and into the club. You can feel this atmosphere, and this is what I feel also in the team. So we go down this road step by step. There's no other approach for me. And in any single game, we want to compete to win. That it's maybe not possible, then we have to accept. But before the game, we should not push our own limits down.
So that was Thomas Tuchel talking to BBC reporter there as part of the Match of the Day programme. Apologies first and foremost for the shit audio that came out of that, but hopefully you would all got the picture from that particular interview. Thomas Tuchel happy with Timo Werner's performance from yesterday, and I think all Chelsea supporters should be pleased with Timo Werner's performance. Yes, the goals have dried up, but his performances are still there. One final sort of thing I'd like to mention as well on the Sheffield United game, and that was the character that was shown by the Chelsea team. You know, when Sheffield United decided to, go for broke and they were attacking at will, putting on 4 strikers. They had 4 strikers on the pitch at one stage of the match. I thought our defensive unit was outstanding, and I'm not blaming anyone here. I'm not sort of putting the blame onto any particular persons, but I think if we go back maybe a couple of months ago, maybe sort of back in the end of December, if we played Sheffield United like that, then I personally probably wouldn't see us winning the game. But obviously roll on a few months in, and Chelsea defended very well. Yes, the goal we conceded was very shit, very schoolboyish. But I expect Chelsea and I expect Thomas Tuchel to perform better when it comes to organising their defence and going forward. Whether or not Rudiger is the long-term solution or not, that remains to be seen. But let's talk now about our upcoming FA Cup tie against Barnsley. Of course, Chelsea fans that may know their FA Cup history might remember that we played Barnsley in one of the sort of rounds in 2008 under Avram Grant, and it was a very, very shit game. I do remember that. In fact, it was on BBC in England, and we lost 1-0. A very poor game, and I say poor game because the Chelsea team that was out that day, and Avram Grant was in charge, and we did get knocked out. And I remember after the game there was a lot of sort of negative talk about Chelsea, and we were actually the holders of the competition. We won it the year before under Jose Mourinho. But this is the Chelsea team. For those of you that are interested in this, we played Barnsley in the FA Cup. This was the Chelsea side that lost to Barnsley that game, and this is bearing in mind, how significant the shock was at the time. Now, this was a Barnsley side that knocked Liverpool out in the previous round 1-0. I believe that was at Anfield. But this is the Chelsea side. You had Carlo Cudicini in goal, Giuliano Belletti, John Terry, Ricardo Carvalho, Wayne Bridge as a back 4. Essien and Ballack in midfield with the likes of Malouda, Wright Phillips on the wing, Joe Cole playing as like a number 10, and Nicolas Anelka playing up top. And the subs that came on, again, no kids or no inexperienced players here, but you had the likes of Claudio Pissarro and Salomon Kalou that came on. And again, this is what the FA Cup is about. It is about the upsets, it's about the shocks. So that's the kind of squad that Chelsea had back in 2008, and that was the kind of squad that lost to Barnsley in the FA Cup. And I'm very much hoping that history does not repeat itself. Most definitely the fact that we also played Barnsley earlier this season in the Carabao Cup, which we won 6-0. In regards to the team that I am predicting, I'm sort of thinking about the game sort of now as it's on Thursday night, and I suspect that Mr. Thomas Tuchel will go for an experienced setup. It's his first time in the FA Cup this season, and Thomas Tuchel does have experience of winning trophies, and this is a perfect chance for Chelsea to win silverware this season. We should have won the FA Cup last season, but that's gone now, but we need to concentrate on this season. So I expect the likes of maybe Marcos Alonso to start. I don't think Thiago Silva, this is the game for him to come back in. Of course, he might still be injured. But the likes of Kurt Zouma, I expect to come in. Maybe even Emerson, possibly to come in. hopefully N'Golo Kante gets a start, and I would like to think that Billy Gilmour will get a start as well. You know, he's been in a unfortunate casualty of this managerial change with Thomas Tuchel. The likes of Hakim Ziyech, I expect him to start as well. You know, he hasn't been in the squad. He hasn't been in the starting 11, for a few matches now. Of course, he's been in and out of injuries for the last couple of weeks. But I also expect the likes of Tammy Abraham to come in as well, because he's got a good record in the FA Cup. So that will be my sort of prediction. I do suspect Thomas Tuchel will ring the changes, but I can't expect him at this stage of the season to decide to play the kids. I think he will play a strong lineup against Barnsley, and I think we should, considering the other teams that are left in the draw. And again, as I've already said, I do feel that this is our season to win the FA Cup. We've got a very good chance to win silverware this season. Of course, Man City at the moment, they are looking strong and they're still in the competition. So hopefully we can have maybe a bit of luck from that. Speaking of luck, I'd also like to congratulate Brighton women on beating Chelsea ladies in the Women's Super League yesterday. Chelsea had a very long unbeaten run in that competition, and from what I can understand, Emma Hayes was not too happy with the Chelsea team. But I also would like to wish them luck on their next game, which will be on the 10th of February. Chelsea women are at home to Arsenal women in the Women's Super League, so good luck to the ladies in blue on that one. Hopefully they can get a win back to gain the confidence going forward, because I do believe Chelsea women are arguably the best team in the women's division. Would also like to make one special point as well for those that may be wondering. We are in the process of sorting out all the Chelsea shirts that will be on raffle for this year. For those of you that may not be aware, we are going to raffle a number of Chelsea shirts. These are not match worn, but these are replica Chelsea shirts that have named numbers on the back of particular players. We are in the process of sorting them all out in sizes. We do have quite a lot. Myself have managed to buy from very, very good contacts of mine within the Chelsea memorabilia business, and we are in the process of getting them all sorted, whereby the first raffle will be in the end of March. And as I've said before, and this will be on our social media platforms, the money that will be raised for this first raffle coming up will be donated to charity. So this is something that the Blue Day podcast is very keen on doing. We are, again, looking to attract new listeners. We're also looking to get more people on board with this, but we're also looking to give something back to the Chelsea supporters who, you know, looking at the way society is and the way this COVID has really caused upset and problems to near enough everybody. We are looking to, you know, raise a smile to them Chelsea fans that are perhaps feeling a bit blue at the moment with everything that's going on. So, to sum up, the first raffle for the Chelsea shirts will be on the end of March. The particular date will be announced in due course, so please keep an eye out for that one. But finally, this is the last thing that I will say before I bid you farewell for this week. We are going to announce our next ex-player, our next ex-Chelsea player, as a matter of fact, that will be on the Blue Day podcast for an exclusive interview. I do not have a drum, so I cannot do a drum roll, but I'll just go out and say it. The next Chelsea player that will be on the Blue Day podcast for the exclusive interview is none other than Mark Nichols. And for those of you that are not aware of who Mark Nichols is, then please brush up on your Chelsea history. Find him on Google, find him on YouTube. He is not hard to find. Mark Nichols is one of the shining lights of Chelsea's run in the late 90s. Of course, he was a player who divided opinion amongst Chelsea supporters. I think it has to be said. He had a bright future ahead of him. He came from Chelsea's academy. And as I've said before, he was part of that exciting Chelsea team in the late 90s that was part of the side that won the F.A Cup in 97, for example, and was winning near enough everything apart from the League and European Cup. So we're going to be chatting to Mark Nichols on the Blue Day podcast this month for an exclusive interview that you can only find on our iTunes channel and on our YouTube channel. So, fellow Chelsea supporters, that is it for this week. But just remember, if you are new to the show, thank you very much for joining us. You can find us on Twitter at Blue Day Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, as I've mentioned, Instagram, the Blue Day Podcast. Find us on Facebook. We've got many hundreds and hundreds of people that have liked us on our Facebook page at the moment. So find us on there. But we will be back. We will be back next week for another episode of the Blue Day Podcast, where hopefully we will have some more surprises in store for you. But there is nothing much left for me to say, but stay safe and carefree. Chelsea!